Hi, Ishaq.
أهلا.
Hi, everyone. It's very nice to see all of you here, and very thankful that you could make it. And we have Ishaq here that he's going to tell us his story. My name is Marjan, Modara, and I love to share unique stories with everyone. I like them to tell their stories and then share it with everyone else. So today we have Ishaq. He calls himself a visual storyteller. Okay, I know that for 7 or 8 years you were in the banking sector,
Yeah,
right?
تقريبا,
Yeah. And I went on LinkedIn and I saw that it says experienced portfolio analyst
Oh, you did your research, huh?
and corporate and private banking, fintech and crypto enthusiast,
Yeah.
right? And then it says you have a bachelor's in banking and finance, master's in fintech and financial markets. So between 2013 up to 2020,
Yeah.
you were in the financial sector.
Yes, that's true.
What was going on?
I guess I was just following the conventional path. Like when you're growing up, they're like, you need to study, get a job, وخلاص يعني, just follow that linear path, or
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, but at the same time, during that time, I was nurturing photography.
Okay.
And I think it overlapped at one point, and one thing overtook the other, and it's
Okay.
consumed me.
So you went to university.
Yeah.
Was it by choice or was it again family oriented that, oh, you have to study this, you have to go into banking, or was it really your passion?
I think it's because it was when you're that age, like when you're 16, 17, you're thrown into this this, you could say, dilemma where you have to make a decision, and then what do you want to do, where do you want to go?
Exactly.
And usually all people around you and everyone around you is in the same situation, and so everyone's thinking the same way, and okay, it's either go into medicine, go into banking, go into engineering. You end up just having the same mindset, and then you end up just going into a path and just following the same path.
Okay, but why finance? Why wasn't it engineering?
I actually was going to go into medicine. I got into RCSI.
No way.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then 1 week before, I was like, I don't think this is for me. So I just pulled out آخر لحظة.
Okay.
And then I just switched and decided to go to BIBF, and it was just like, okay, you know what, I'll just do this, and without thinking 5 years or 10 years what's going to happen, and it just happened.
What were your parents say in this? Did they try to convince you
They
this
tried
is
to.
medicine, we want you to be a doctor?
I actually also worked in American Mission Hospital for a bit
Okay.
in the pediatrics department.
Yeah.
For internship for like 2-3 months. But at that time I was like, maybe I should go into medicine or SOالف. بس بعدين غيرت رأيي, and I just decided to change. But yeah, my parents were like, you should stay into medicine, is good career, but then I was like, something in me was telling me, don't go that path.
Okay.
But then I went to banking.
So you went into BIBF, yeah?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, finance. You're there in BIBF, you're studying finance. Is photography any part of this scene?
At that time, no, but I remember I had an iPhone 4, and like دائما يعني that أروح برا أصور, يعني I'll take photos here and there
Okay.
on my phone. So, and I think just that habit of taking photos on the phone, started a spark in me. But then it also goes back when I was a child. When we used to go on family trips, my mother would give me the camera to take photos of the family and stuff.
Okay.
But I think those two meshed together and developed, But it was like something inside me that.
What were you
dormant.
seeing when you were taking those pictures? Were you focusing on certain things, certain scenes? Were you being spontaneous or just taking pictures?
Yeah, I was just taking pictures.
Okay.
Things that things that spoke to me, or I felt the composition or the environment like moved me in a certain way.
Were you the kind that you know how you have those people that say take a pose and we'll take a picture, or no poses, I'll just take pictures spontaneously? Which one are you?
I think I'm more on the spontaneous side.
Spontaneous.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like that, the magic of life.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So you graduated. You went into the financial sector. Were you happy working in the financial sector?
I don't regret it, because
Okay.
in the end, everything we do, all the paths we take, they help develop you as a person and give you perspective in life. But I enjoyed the experience. It was a good experience. It gave me opportunities as well to work abroad, because I had a small period of time where I was sent to Portugal, and I lived there on my own for a bit.
Nice.
And that's also where, at the same time, before going to work, because in Portugal it's a very different lifestyle. You have to take public transportation to go to work, and you're walking and all that. But with my phone at that time, I'd be taking photos all the time, and during the weekends as well. So I think, behind the scenes, these was slowly nurturing me and giving me this, skill.
Okay.
But yeah.
So you went to Portugal through work.
Yeah, through work.
Yeah, it's not like okay, let me go and work there. No,
No,
it was
Yeah,
okay.
I was sent there. Yeah.
Okay, and how many years was that?
No, Portugal was like less than a year. It wasn't
less
that
than
long.
a year.
Yeah. Then I got homesick, and I came back to Bahrain.
Okay, you got homesick. That's interesting. Okay, so you now we go towards 2020.
Yeah.
I think that was COVID, right? What shifted?
I think during COVID, we were home most of the time. We even had work from home protocol. I had lots of time to just reflect on where I am in life and where do I want to go next. It gave me clarity in a way to figure out what do I want to do next. Is this what I want to do for the rest of my life? There's these moments during the week where your alarm goes off in the morning and you're like, oh, I have to go to work, I have to get up and change and get stuck in traffic. So I used to get that a lot, before COVID, and I reflected on that during COVID. And
you were working from home?
Yes, I was working
Okay.
from home. So thinking about these moments I used to have, it made me think for the rest of my life, do I want to do that, get stuck in traffic, be miserable? And after COVID, I was like, I'll do my master's. Actually, I did my master's during COVID as well.
Okay.
But it was just, I think I wanted to do my master's and get it out of the way. But that also gave me time to take a break from the corporate life and just study and have time on my own. So in that time I just practiced. I used to take workshops, after class I'd be on photography workshops and go out with other photographers. So I think it also helped develop.
So when you were taking your master's degree, you were not working?
No, I wasn't working. Actually, so before I decided to do my master's, I resigned and then went
okay.
and did my master's.
Okay.
I was like, at the same time, if I'm going to go abroad, might as well have, something come with it.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, it'd be good to study. So I just went and did it.
Okay. And the idea of photography was building up more and more.
Well, while I was working, this past, let's say, six years, at that time I used to also do photography after work. So as soon as I clock out after work, 3:30, I'd have some assignment or job waiting for me. So I don't think I just left it, So I took the opportunities that whatever came my way at that time.
Interesting.
To,
So this will take me to the next question then. So you have a good job, and I'm sure the pay was good.
Alhamdulillah.
And in the afternoons, you would clock out and go and do your passion,
Yeah.
which was photography. So you had both worlds.
Yeah.
What shifted in you that you said, okay, now I don't want that anymore. I want to go into photography. You stopped it,
Yeah.
right? And I'm sure you had the dilemma now that the income would stop. So what was going on in your mind? What happened that you shifted?
Well, generally I'm a risk taker. And I was
Okay.
like, it's good to take risks sometimes because, you know, what's the point of life? You're not going to take some risks here and there. What also shifted was that there were a lot of opportunities that would come to me at that time where I had to say no, and it would be during the work week or
Photography.
photography. The projects would be like maybe 1 week, 2 week projects. Some projects where I had to travel, and I had to say no, and I had the day job. So I think that was one of my reasons, and you know, maybe if I put in my whole heart into the passion, it will take me somewhere beyond my expectations, beyond my dreams.
So can we say that you reached a point where you were a little bit safer income-wise, that you could stop that and start this and delve into it?
Yeah,
more?
generally I'm a big saver.
Save.
Like I don't really
Okay.
spend much on myself.
Yeah.
I like to, you know,
Yeah.
have a cushion.
Why I'm saying that is I'm sure lots of people
Yeah.
out there want to go into entrepreneurship
That's
and
true.
want to do this. So I'm sure they have these thoughts and all
Akid.
that. And it helps if someone who has already gone through this and to help them
That's true.
how to decide and all that. Okay, great. So tell me, what were the challenges now that when you left and you went into photography, what happened? What were the challenges? What were the obstacles?
As I mentioned, it's a risky decision. لأن طبعا in this part of the world, the art scene, the creative scene is not taken that seriously, you know. But there's not much in terms of support, you know. Like in Europe or America, there's usually art grants. There's usually photography grants where they provide the creative with maybe an allowance, you know, so that they can practice their passion and like develop that. But that was, so the risk comes in terms of, okay, where's my ma'ash going to come from next?
Yeah.
You know, so you don't know that, like you could maybe do 2-3 jobs and that will secure you for a bit, but then 1 month from now, 2 months from now, there's that idea of, you know, getting a stable ma'ash won't be there. But then I think if you just focus on the now, you know, and just push yourself to secure jobs and just do the best work you can.
Have quality projects,
Quality
right?
projects that
But-
can
yeah.
definitely secure you. You know, I think it's very important to be selective with what you do and the time you spend.
Okay. Were you getting any support from any entity, from external entities, say like Tempe or
No,
Any other
I never utilized any of these because I didn't feel like it fit my process or what I wanted to do. I think everything I've done is basically sufficient.
Okay, so let me then ask you this. Did the financial background help you in any way, experiences that you had in the financial sector and all that? Did it help anyway in your photography business?
I think it gave me this discipline first of all, discipline in savings, you know, to
Okay.
be very strict with how you spend your money, because I think it's very important to have a cushion just in case, so that, you know, maybe next month there's no jobs, you don't have any projects, so you might, you know, need something to keep you afloat. Another thing is investments. So while I was in the banking field, I used to deal with investments, so I think that gave me this knowledge where, you know, I can also do trading on the side if I want to.
Okay,
That's you know, another.
interesting. So something to have an income on the side,
So
just in
it's
case.
good to have like some passive
Yeah,
income on the
yeah.
side as well. too.
It's kind of like putting your risks, not putting all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah, that's true. And
Okay.
I think nowadays we have YouTube, and I'm a self-taught photographer and visual artist, so everything I've learned is from YouTube. Even, you know, financial information or that you like for investments, you can now find everything on YouTube.
Yeah.
So if you want to like have something, you can always learn. There's always this opportunity to learn. And with the fact that I don't have a day job anymore now, you could say being a creative is like a 24/7 job.
Okay.
but it's a fun job.
Yeah.
You have this time to like learn, practice, and utilize your time in a way to be efficient.
Okay. And what was the one project that kind of elevated you? Was there one that you can talk about?
One project that elevated me.
That put you there on the map?
Well, I mean, the most popular project I've done was the project with the Museum of Modern Art, New York, where they basically used one of my photographs in an exhibition all around the subway stations in New York, and that project was a really interesting project because it also represents the youth of Bahrain. You see the images; it's the image of the skateboarders, at the Youth Avenue, Minit Isa.
Okay.
And it's one of the most popular images I've taken as well. And like while it was there, a lot of people used to message me and Ishaq, your photos here in New York. Like we got out of the train and we saw like Bahrain, and we're like, what is going on? That was a very interesting project to be a part of. But the project that technically elevated my experience was في المطار البحرين. I have a work over there.
Yeah.
The new terminal.
Yeah.
And it's a work that goes beyond what I normally used to do. Like قبل I'd just take stills, photos.
Right.
That's it.
Right.
But this work had me go beyond that. It beyond my comfort zone. And I had to create.
So what was it? Yeah.
Create. Basically, I took images of Fijri music. That was the theme of it.
What music?
Fijri, folklore music, Bahraini
okay.
folklore, the pearl diving music, basically.
Okay.
And I had to be more than a photographer. I had to be an artist as well. And I created a frame using the tabal, the drums, and used it around the frame. And I had to work with a workshop, with craftsmen, and all that. And then made me realize, I don't have to just be fixed in a box, labeled in a box as a photographer. I can be more than that. So that's where the whole idea of visual storyteller comes, because with that I can do anything, not just photography.
So did you actually go to, say, the pearl divers and ask and made research and
did
some research
about
there
the music
and
the history behind it,
and you put it all
together to create the artwork.
Okay, and sure there are pictures with that.
It's a mixture of, it's mixed media basically.
Okay.
So it's a very, very dynamic work, and you could like see the actual drums, the actual pieces. So in a way they kind of speak to you. You can even touch them, so it's interactive.
Okay.
And then you have the images of the dancers and the
very interesting. And this is in the airport.
It's in the airport, Gate 3, yes.
Gate 3.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll tell you a story now of me and Ishaq. We met last January, and we went on a trip together, mounting Mount Kilimanjaro. So we were in the journey together, going for 5 days.
5-6 days, yeah.
5 days going up and a day and a half coming down. And we mounted Kilimanjaro. Maryam is there also, she was with us. Here I realized something. You know how when you're in a journey together, you start connecting, and especially in journeys like this where you go on for days just walking, trying to get somewhere, and you're in your own world, but you also are engaged with the people around you and start seeing their personalities and how each character is different than the other one. The minute I saw you, we met and we were in the bus going, the first couple of days, I thought, okay, Ishaq is in his own world. He's an introvert, a complete introvert. He had his headphones on all the time, and everyone was shouting and screaming and talking around him, but he was in his own world. And that was very interesting for me, because it's very difficult for you to be in that zone and stay in that zone, not to think of, oh, what are people going to say about me? What are they going to say, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So you are an introvert, and it was, and I remember the second day or the third day, there were people loud in the crowd with us, and at one point, I would get like, I can't stand this anymore. So we woke up one day, and I said, Ishaq, I'm walking with you today. I don't want to hear anybody else. I want to be in my own world with you, you in your own world, and me in my own world. Right?
Yeah.
So tell me about your world. How was it when you were in finance, and what happened when you went into photography?
I think I have photography to thank for because, in a way, photography has made me, as I mentioned earlier, kind of, it's taken me out of my comfort zone. So yes, I'm an introvert, but whenever I have the camera, it actually enables me to be out of my comfort zone, and through that I've met a lot of people, like, and I would have not met a lot of people because of photography, and it has given me a lot of opportunities to network, to connect. And just like, it's a passport in a way.
Yes.
A passport to a whole different world, and also in the corporate world, I think it's, how was it in the corporate world? Actually, in the corporate world, I had to be a bit of an extrovert because I had to deal with a lot of people every day, and but I think it all comes back to photography, because I've been shooting for photography for 10 years now almost, and just through that habit and exercise of it's allowed me to connect. Like, I would have not met a lot of people here without it, and I wouldn't be sitting here,
Exactly.
So just sitting here is also being out of my comfort zone.
I know.
As well.
Remember when I called you? I said, Ishaq, let's do this. And it's going to be live in front of people. You said, what? People are going to be sitting. I said, yeah, you've done it before.
I was like to Mariam earlier, maybe we shouldn't come. We should stay home.
Okay. I'm not going to say what I would have
that was
done.
just for a few seconds. It was just my introvert speaking,
Yeah.
But I was like, la, I've grown beyond that, and
Exactly.
I should be here.
And I think the beauty of it is that you socialize behind your camera.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're connecting with people behind your camera, and you're socializing with them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's this conversation,
Yes.
It could be a silent conversation, or it could be a conversation of visual communication as well.
Exactly. You're telling their stories without talking to them, by just bringing their pictures in
Exactly.
front and sharing it with others.
And that through that, there's also this communication of emotions. When they see their pictures, there's this emotion of joy, happiness, laughter. So and also sometimes moments of meditative experience. So it's quite a rewarding. It's been a rewarding experience overall.
Okay, lovely. What advice would you have for someone who wants to leave a secure job and go into their own freelance job?
I'm not going to say it's easy. I mean, it's not. It's definitely not easy. There are days where I'm like, what am I doing? It's a scary world. But in the end of it, I look back and I'm like, because compared to when I was in corporate and now, when I wake up in the morning, I'm like, yes, let's go. It's time for an adventure. When I was in corporate, I was like, oh, I have to, get up and brush my teeth, put on the thobe ghatra, and just, But sahin, I'm happier when I wake up, and that's quite telling of where you are in life, and I think one of the key, very important things, is just to be consistent. Be consistent with your practice, your habit, and just create work. Even if you're not going to share that work anywhere, just create it, because in a way that can help you expand into something else entirely.
So it's not like just dreaming. It's dreaming and putting it into action.
Yeah, you have to put it in action.
Yeah, and you have to put a lot into it.
It's a lot of action. There's a lot of, you need to, like, nowadays there's a lot of different social media platforms as well. So, but then you can utilize that to your own advantage, And there are like other creators on these platforms as well who provide like advice and information of how you can, follow the path of being a creative. So consistency is the number one.
Yes. Yeah.
Number one advice.
Okay. I think I'm finished with my questions, and I'm happy with what I got. We can open it up for discussion. Yeah? Please. I think you have a question there. Sheikha.
Yeah, Sheikha.
I wanted to ask you about going into, you did Nexus.
Hey, yes, I did
How
Nexus.
was that like before Nexus, after Nexus experience?
I think Al Rawaq's Nexus program is really interesting program because it helps you sharpen your critical thinking, especially in the art world. It's very important because usually we see things in our perspectives are like without any education in the art field. Our perspective is a bit vanilla, you know, very basic. But then when you go into programs like that, it helps you sharpen those, you know, those thoughts, those ideas. Helps you communicate those your opinion in a more critical manner, you know, without having any you know, weakness in your arguments or what you're trying to relate to people.
Did it have an effect on your work?
It's much more. It has impacted my work in a way that I'm more conscious in what I choose to, you know, show out there in the world. Especially that there's a lot of, you could say, Orientalism going on in the Middle East. That's something that, you know, as artists or photographers, you need to be quite aware of when, you know, creating works like that.
Can you elaborate a little bit on this Nexus thing?
Nexus is an art program at Al Rawaq Art Gallery,
Okay.
and it's usually for around 3 to 4 months, and they do it almost every year. And
Okay.
it's and the lecturer is William Wells, Mr. William Wells, and he's a super experienced art curator. He's been working for like probably 30 years in the art field. But you gain a lot of knowledge about art history and how to basically communicate in terms of art and criticize art as well.
So it's like a workshop.
It's like
thing
a
that you
workshop,
got. Okay. And artists sign up.
Anyone
for it.
can sign up for it. You don't have to feel like, oh, I'm not an artist, I
Yeah.
can't just.
Okay.
There's a lot of things, you know, you can do, and you don't need to be in a certain label to do them, you know. And then it's all about what you want to learn, how you want to grow as a
Yeah.
person.
Interesting. Thanks for that question, Jihan. Anyone else wants to add anything? Ask anything? Yes.
Yeah. Living in a small place like Bahrain, was it barrier to you? Because limited because it's a small place. And if the answer is yes, how you can cross that barrier?
I think the fact that Bahrain is small, it's actually an advantage, and it's easier to connect with people. The creative scene, there's a lot of people. You can just people are very welcoming, very open to collaborating. Well, that's في البداية when I first started photography. I used to collaborate with a lot of people, and in that way, that enabled me to spread my name around, or you know, grow faster as well. So sometimes it's good to even just team up or work with someone to, you know, in that way you learn from each other and you also grow. So I think it's like, so when I was in Portugal or when I was in studying in the UK, حسيت إن because it was huge, it felt overwhelming. بس لأن بحرين small, it's, you know, it's a cute little island basically.
Right.
You
Yeah.
can easily just connect with anyone. There's a lot of people through على Instagram. I just reach out to them or they reach out to me, and then we became good friends. We became like creatives who always work together. Like Mustafa, we met through Instagram, and now we've just been shooting together for like how many? 5 years, 6 years.
Nice.
And we basically bounce ideas off each other, and that helps also, you know, develop our skill sets.
See, that's the beauty now in this era, is that you know how many years ago they used to say knowledge is power, you have to keep it to yourself.
Yeah.
Nowadays, knowledge sharing is power, because that when in collaboration, you come to innovate.
That's true.
Because you have thoughts, he has ideas, and when it comes to maybe the ideas would have just been there, and you couldn't go further because it had some more things to be added to it that somebody else has.
Yeah.
And when it's added to that, then the idea
It blooms into something much more bigger,
blooms.
basically.
Exactly. And as you said, because we live in a small place, it's much easier to connect.
It's very important to connect as well.
With each other.
That's true.
Yeah, and I mean, look at us today. We went to Kelly together, and then the other day, and Ali Taq is the one who actually made me go into Journey Adventures, because I interviewed him and he was going to Peru, and then I got into the Journey Adventures, and then I met you, and I met Marjan. Beautiful Maryam, and then the other day I'm telling Ali, who should I interview next? He looks at me and says, of course that's Ishaq, and I said, oh my God, how? So we're all connected. We're all connected, and we come together,
like
and
a
then we
butterfly
add to
effect.
each other,
That's true.
and that's the beauty of Bahrain. Yeah.
That's true.
Yes.
I just wanted to say that your work, I know that you're more sensitive, it seems to be strict style.
Yes.
So I was thinking now, after you're thinking about working, I used to work in an ad agency.
Okay.
Have you approached that yet? You probably don't know my background, it's communication studies, and then I work with the corporate side of, like, for example, the telco or my clients. So I work with photographers. I don't know if you thought of, have you done, I think you've done one corporate for campaign, or you haven't done.
No, I do a lot of corporate work as well.
Do you work with advertising agencies, or they approach you?
Oh, they approach me. So I'm more of a freelancer when I do commercial work.
Yeah, but I was thinking of in the region, and now we were talking before about monthly income. If you send out your portfolio to ad agencies, not just in the Bahrain area, it's a small market, but like in Dubai, and I know we have here at P7, the big ones who have accounts across the GCC.
So-
I don't know if you sent out your work, like, as in, this is what I, put me on your.
On the radar, basically. Yeah, I've done that a few times, and it has actually helped me secure a few jobs here and there. So I think that's a really good idea as well. So if you want to also maybe secure projects in the near future, like 2-3 months from now, or maybe next year, because agencies basically work on a cycle, and usually there will be a certain period of time where they would want to shoot a whole campaign and then launch it in the next quarter. So one way as a creative, you can send out your portfolios to agencies and be like, this is me, this is my work, I'd love to collaborate or visually work with you, and we can create stories together, and just one more, like, if, for example, probably you send to 10, you probably get 2 replies, 3 replies, and that's more than enough to keep you going.
Yeah.
But that's a really great point she
Great.
brings up.
Great, yeah. And this an idea came to my mind now. You are in a level where you're good to go and you're doing projects here and there. What are you doing to keep yourself ahead? You know how innovation is, like Nokia and Kodak and all of them, they were ahead.
Yeah.
But where are they now?
Yeah, I don't want to be a Nokia.
No, exactly. So what are you doing to keep ahead? If it's not a secret, of course.
What am I doing to keep ahead? I haven't thought about that actually.
You have to. We always have to look
That's true.
into the future.
That's true. You need to find a way to, because you need to look yourself as you're a product basically,
Yes.
and how do you enhance your product further?
Exactly. Exactly.
And that's a very good point you make there as well. And I think that's something to look at.
Yeah.
Something to explore but when I look at my work, I think it's how do I differentiate though? That's a good
Yeah.
point you bring.
Put it in
I think that's
mind.
something I need to think about now.
Perfect. Then
Can I say something?
yes, please.
Being observing his work, he always experiments.
Okay.
What I like about this have is he challenges himself to try, the work that you did in the fish markets.
Yeah.
Of the panels of the men walking in.
صح.
And it's something that you haven't seen before. And I think he challenges himself when he's out there without even noticing. But that's what's his.
There you go. There you go. Yeah. So
Thank
it's
you
being
for that.
noticed. Yeah, yeah.
There's your answer.
Perfect. Yes. Perfect. Yeah. I think we'll end it here.
Sure.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Pleasure. It's been an honor being here. Thank you so much.
No, it's very enlightening. It's amazing to see all these the talents that we have in the society, and lots of people still don't know about them.
That's true.
That's why I love to have them come in, tell their stories, and then put it out there for
Also,
everyone else.
We have to thank Higher Grounds for this lovely space.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you very much for giving us the venue, supporting, and for Hadi coming in and recording this video. We will be, thank you, and we'll be putting it up soon, inshallah, on
Inshallah.
YouTube. Yeah,
Look forward
and
to
you
seeing
can share it with whoever you want. Yeah. Thank
Amazing.
you so much.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.
B. That was good.
See? Try it.
Easy peasy.
It's nice.
ولا شيء.
ولا.